What's going on, everybody? Steve here again. Today I'm in Vernon Hills, Illinois at the Vernon Hills Skatepark. This is a relatively small pump track flowy style skate park built by Evergreen back in 2020, I believe. And Vernon Hills is a suburb on the far northwest side of Chicago. About maybe I would say 25 minutes, 30 minutes from the Wisconsin border. It's actually close to another evergreen park I've already done a tour of, which is Sturtevant, Wisconsin. It's only about 45 minutes away. But as you'll see, this is an entirely custom concrete skate park. Very flowy, great for kids, and if you like the pump track style, you'll definitely like this park. It's mostly transition. There's quite a bit of transition spots with coping, and they kind of weave in and out. Not as much street stuff. There aren't any ledges or anything like that, but as you'll see here in a second, does have some interesting elements which you can come check out if you're in the area. All right, so there's not really a good starting point, because if you were looking at this park from above, it's very circular in nature. So I'm going to start by kind of the entrance area or the sidewalk that you'd walk up to the park at, starting with this A-frame rail. Now this is interesting because it's kind of on the outer ring pump track style, and this A-frame has wedge ramps leading up to it, but it's kind of slanted and goes around at an angle. So you'll see that on this circular rail, it kind of bends in directions, which is, obviously very unique. Could add some interesting elements if you're skating from the flat and grinding up the top of it and over. You kind of have to carve around a little bit while on the rail. So it will definitely test your rail balance. This thing is a circular rail about 2 inches in diameter or so, 2.5. And it's got about 8 feet down or so, 8 to 10 feet down on either direction. So plenty to slide or grind. And as we go over this ramp, we'll get into the next hump, which will pump over, and then you'll see it leads right into a curved square flat bar. Now this flat bar is only about 6 to 8 feet long or so, but it does kind of have a bit of a C curve to it, and it's only about 12 inches off the ground, so easy to get onto, easy to lock into as well, get you comfortable skating a curved rail as well. So kind of a cool thing. Next, you've got this large volcano style hip. It's super mellow, and there's not really a defined area where you would skate it like a hip. However, this starting part coming from the C rail is definitely a lot more mellow. It's only about 1.5 feet up to it, whereas on the other side it kind of goes down into a deeper section, so it's really coming up more at like a 3 or 4 foot quarter on the other side of it. But very, very mellow. You don't have to worry about getting caught up on the coping or anything like that. You can just roll right over it or drop in on it, so that's kind of nice. All right, now I'm looking at where I just came from, which was that wide volcano hip area. There's another kind of roller pump just past it, which is about 2 feet tall, and it leads into a taller one that's kind of uphill. So this is a great opportunity to get speed going back in that direction, but you'll get it coming this direction and really have to push or pump to get over this particular hump. And then there's going to be another hump towards the back before you start getting back towards where we started. So we'll go over there in a second. Next, I've got a taco shell quarter, which is huge. This thing is probably 30 feet long. In the middle, it's about 3 feet tall or so, but you've got plenty of time to get set up for it and grind all across the top if you want, or just use it as a way to keep your speed and go over the top and go right back to where you started with that A-frame, go over a couple bumps, and complete another lap. Now you saw it throughout, but there's a middle bowl section as well. So this middle bowl section is kind of interesting, where it can kind of skate like a mini ramp depending on what direction you're going from, but there's all kinds of lines for you to figure out. So over to the left here is a large kind of clamshell style bowl section, if you will. It starts on either side to be about 2.5 feet or so, but in the middle it's more like 5 feet. And there's an off-center hip that comes out right in front of me. So you can kind of see where this hip sort of breaks up the flow a little bit and gives you kind of an interesting direction to carve around in. And then on the other side, we've got a tighter bowl. It's a little bit more compact, but you've got that roll in sort of camel hump in the middle, which helps you pump over it, or you can do tricks over the hump. And that camel hump leads into a, like I said, a tighter bowl that is about the same height, about 5 feet tall in the tallest section, but is more like 3 feet on either end. And it's got these like twin volcano humps with coping throughout, so you can see the black coping throughout, but that will give you some opportunities to do different kinds of grinds and transition into the different sections. So we'll get up close to that here. All right, so you can kind of see where I'm looking at like about a 5 foot quarter, and then camel hump that's offset. And as I roll through the back here, pump over the hump, get into another quarter section as well. And we've got these like twin hips on either side, which kind of slant upwards a little bit, but give you an opportunity to maybe air over corners, just grind around and into a different section and keep going. So really, I think it's designed to be very flowy and have endless lines and provide you with a lot of variety. You just have to be paying attention to where you're going. Lastly, next to the shade shelter, there are a couple of curbs. I think these are just kind of added in as like extra concrete sort of afterthought, but there's one on the other side as well that you can skate on as kind of a ride-on curb if you want, but you got that as well to just mix things up for you. But other than that, park has benches throughout, so plenty of time to, or places to chill out if you want. Right next to a school, so super safe area, and it's good layout. I like it. No lights, of course, but other than that, good setup. Okay, so that does it for the Vernon Hills Skate Park. Hope you enjoyed this skate park tour. As you can see, there's a lot of like fun, interesting elements that make this park unique. Still in really great shape as well. So if you're on the northwest side of Chicago, you'll definitely want to come check this park out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next skate park tour video, and thank you for watching.